Star Wars only. I don't know what the fuck your problem is.
Why I left the saber community. If you don't know what the saber community is, or sabers are, they're basically lightsabers. They're not really allowed to say lightsabers because of copyright reasons. I believe Lucasfilm has a patent on anything like that. I don't really know the legality behind it, but still, I was in the saber community for a large part of my Star Wars career, because I do make money off it, but I'm not employed by Lucasfilm, so it's kind of weird to say, right? Anyways, in the beginning of my Star Wars fandom, and mostly throughout high school, I was a really big fan of lightsabers. The sabers that you could pick up and everything and you buy. And not just the cheaply made stuff. I'm talking about like legit cool looking ones that make sounds, and they're bulletproof polycarbonate glass. I mean, it was really cool stuff. But I eventually left the community. And the reason being is because I just it's hard to explain. I just didn't like it anymore. One of my bigger videos of recently, this past month, it's gained a lot of attention. It's called Every Saber Company Ever, or something like that. And it's not my best video by far. It's an older video, and the quality's not that great, and the research on it's not that great. And someone even put in the comments, because I said I'd put all the companies in the comment or in the description, so people could click on it. It's been like a year, and I haven't done it. And someone even put that. They were like, a year later, he still hasn't done it. I'm like, yeah, I haven't. But I really used to like being in the saber community. And if you think the Star Wars community is bad, the saber community might be a little worse. And I'm not trying to diss anyone who's in it. I'm not sitting here saying that you personally, if you're in the saber community, are bad. There's some good forums and whatnot in the saber community, like FX Sabers and whatnot, stuff like that. I believe that one has a forum. It's been so long, but I don't miss it, and I didn't like it at a time because a lot of the saber people are very passionate, and it's different between a saber community and the Star Wars community, because for the saber people, it's money. You're actually spending your hard-earned money, and it's not cheap either. These sabers can run up to a few thousand. Some go up to like $20,000-$30,000, and people buy them, and that's a lot of money. I mean, really, it's a lot. I mean, you spend a few thousand on a lightsaber, and I would never imagine spending money like that. That's one problem I have with it, is that it is very costly for a hobby. But to be fair, everybody has their own things that they like. That's not me. And people have made, YouTube channels off it, like Shamim, I believe is his name, and there's another guy that I used to watch a lot too. They make, decent careers out of it. And there's Sabersmith that I know. One of my favorite guys was Starfall Sabers. He was a really good guy to me. Darth Alice Sabers, he was really cool. Who else is there? Harp Sabers is a really cool guy. He makes a lot of good quality. My favorite guy is personally KR Sabers. I think he does the best work out there, and he's a great dude. So my problem with the saber community, though, is, like I said, they're very passionate, and there's a lot of controversy that goes with them. Unlike Star Wars, where, the Star Wars community, you have people like me or other accounts will be like, oh, well, you stole someone's meme and everything. And people get passionate about memes, which is the dumbest thing I can ever think of, because it's just a fucking meme. But saber community is different, because it's actually someone's work. Someone actually, designs a saber, and then someone else steals that design and makes a lot of money off it. The person who designed it's like, hey, dude, what the hell? You stole my work. And so it's art. I mean, that's what it is. It's art for a lot of people. But it got to a point where there was so much controversy that went into the saber community that I really didn't like it. Ultra Sabers is by far, if not number 2, number 1. I think they've kind of gone downhill in the past few years or become less relevant. But Ultra Sabers was the people to go to. They had made all the sabers, and they were very popular, and they're very cheap. And because the sabers really aren't that good, they're glorified flashlights. Then you had what I consider number 2 at the time, probably number 1 now, Saberforge. And I have one of their lightsabers, and they're okay. I mean, they're adequate for what you pay for. But then you have other companies that I personally like. For me, the 2 best companies I would definitely buy for, and I mean companies as in they produce a lot more than the average sabersmith, would be Genesis Custom Sabers, which I really do think he's a good guy. I think his name is Rob. He's awesome. A lot of his work is really great. I do think the prices are a little over the top, but that's just me being me. And then I already said KR Sabers. What's the other one? Oh, Vader's Vault. Vader's Vault. I think Vader's Vault is very good, bang for your buck, especially with the quality sabers that you get. So, there's companies like that I don't mind. But then you have Ultra Sabers. There's a lot of controversy for stealing designs and just being flat out a scam. And then you have Saberforge, which is accused of stealing even more designs, and the owner of that gets a lot of hate, because I remember seeing on Facebook how he, said basically he doesn't like anyone in the military, he doesn't respect anyone in the military, and all that crap, and that's idiotic in my opinion. And then there's a little like a Facebook page against the guy, if I recall, if it's still there, but it was like anti-Saberforge or anti whatever the owner's name is, and so it's stuff like that where it's like it's not that big of a deal, guys. It's just lightsabers. And so that's where I kind of fell off with the saber community. And then there was a point where there's a guy I really liked growing up, Hampton's Handcrafted Lightsabers or LED sabers, whatever you want to call them. He had a Kickstarter where he took a lot of people's money and he was like, all right, you pay this much and you're going to get a lightsaber. You can make it look whatever way you want. It was a 3D model sculpture and everything. It was really cool. And I really wanted to get one, but I was like, I'm not spending, $500 on this lightsaber. Well, he stopped uploading on YouTube a very long time ago, and I was like, what happened? What happened to this guy? And so I went back to my old Saber forums, and I looked into, what happened, and he just took everybody's money and left. He had a freak out or panic attack, whatever. I really don't know. But a lot of people got mad about that, and you look at the Facebook reviews and everything, and it's stuff about that. And so it's weird to me that people are so passionate about this stuff, and I understand a lot of it's art, but it's like, dude, you're spending $500 on a lightsaber. I mean, and, you're 30 or you're 40 or something like that. Now, if you're making it, fine, and if it's your passion, fine. I'm not trying to diss anyone who does it, because I used to do it. I understand the art behind it. For them, it's, people in the saber community, it's not a toy. It's an art. It's a piece of art, and I appreciate that. But for me now, I'm at this point mentally. I'm like, dude, I couldn't imagine spending $500 on, literally, when you boil it down, it's just a lightsaber. And so, and that aspect of it I always knew was there, and I always had a problem with myself internally dealing with that, but I dealt with it because I was like, hey, I'm a nerd. What the hell do you expect? I like lightsabers. These are really cool. But also the other aspect of, I'm tired of the drama behind all this stuff, and I'm not even involved in it, thank God. And then there was the other aspect of, I just simply didn't like spending so much money on something that isn't going to grow in value, and what am I going to do with it? Like, literally, I mean, am I going to hang it up and look at it and turn it on from time to time? Well, great. I mean, whatever. But am I going to sit there and play with it? Well, no, I'm 19. I'm not going to sit here and play around with lightsabers all day. And there are people who make, videos on how to saber fight and whatnot. And I saw people do this at Star Wars Celebration. They fought each other with their lightsabers, and I've never wanted to cringe so hard in my life. It was weird. But people like doing that stuff, and props to them. As long as you're happy, I don't care what you do with your life. For me, it's just, I don't understand it. I can't understand. It's like getting Star Wars toys now. I don't understand the concept behind it. But overall, the saber community really fell off for me. When I got in, a lot of people were very passionate and very nice. Like, hey, here's how you make a lightsaber. Here's how you do this. We'll give you videos on tutorials. You need help, we'll be here for you. But then it got to a point where it was all about the money and the art, and it was like, oh, you're stealing my design. You're stealing this guy's design. You're trash because your sabers, don't have a sound font in them, and all this stuff, and all this crazy trash that just went on. And I was like, you know what? I don't like it. I don't like the stupidity that goes behind it. And overall, I just think it's a growing business right now. I think a lot of the companies that I've seen over the past few years have grown, but I've also seen a lot of them, die out. A lot of these sabersmiths that have lost their fire and their passion, and that might just be because I'm not involved anymore. I don't see it. But overall, saber community is not what it used to be, and it's not something I enjoy being in. And I didn't like the Star Wars fan base, and I still am not fond of the Star Wars fan base because of the stupidity and the cancer that goes on behind it. But I'm telling you, the saber community was a whole different story, and that's one of the main reasons I left, is all the stupid drama that goes on between stealing people's designs, bad sabers, and people trying to get refunds from certain companies, and companies being scams and whatnot. It just got to a point where I was like, you know what, this isn't enjoyable to be involved in anymore. And so I have a Sabers Only Instagram page, like 19,000 followers. Hell, if you want to buy it, I will sell it to you for, how much do I want to sell it for? $275. 19,000 followers. If you want that, hit me up. I'll sell it to you. I don't want the page anymore. I prefer you to specifically only use lightsaber content if you're passionate about sabers. If not, fine, so be it. If you're a sabersmith, this is a good way to really, market your brand. I don't want the page anymore. I don't like sabers anymore. I've lost my passion for it. And, I mean, that's it. That's honestly it. I don't like sabers. They're cool, but I mean, I'm 19. I don't have a lot of time for it. I got this, a job, school, and I train in MMA and jiu-jitsu. I mean, I don't have time to collect sabers and put them on a shelf so they can collect dust. So, I don't know. Comment your thoughts below. Are you involved in the saber community? Have you ever been involved in the saber community? Have you ever thought about buying a lightsaber or a saber? If you have, you can go look at my other video, every saber company ever, and try to get through that, because I did give a lot of them and a lot of sabersmiths, but a lot of them have either died out, aren't good anymore, or just irrelevant. So, comment your thoughts below. I'm Star Wars Only. Hope you guys enjoyed this little talk. I'll see y'all next time. May the Force be with you, always.